Okay, everyone, we are back in it. I didn't fuck up. The screen capture software thankfully tells me when it finishes the save. So we're now finally going into the fucking ZBrush. Yeah, that's what. Yes. Go to ZBrush. The ZBrush Central has some really good tutorials. So I brought this in. It asked me if I wanted to convert everything to quads and tris. Just press yes. Otherwise, it'll be weird. So I have this, and first things first is I'm going to press this thing right here that says Draw Polyframe, and that just shows me my wireframe for the object. And then I'm going to go, I don't need this, so I'm going to close that. And close this. I'm going to press this button, go down to Z Modeler, click that, and now I'm in like kind of like a Maya-esque thing. So I'm going to go to my edges, right-click, crease, go to crease, and go to edge loop partial. Did you import an MA file? No, I imported an OBJ file. You cannot import an MA file into ZBrush. You can only import OBJs and FBXs. OBJs are easier. If you want to do an FBX, you have to go to Z plugin and go to FBX import export and then do import that way. But it's finicky, I gotta say. So I recommend doing OBJs because you can come over here to tools, press import. It lets you pick. I pick it, and then I open it. And so actually, let me redo this 1 sec, just so I can show you guys what I did. So I'm going to delete that real quick. I'm going to press import. It's going to show up. I'm going to click on that. Click it. It says quads and triangles. Click that. Okay, so it's just going to automatically do it for me now. But when it first does it, you're going to have to drag it in. So basically, you click on the screen, drag, and then you're going to have to press this edit button. If you don't press the edit button, you'll get all of these. And then you press edit, and you have like all of these visible. And that's annoying. If you press Control N, you'll clear the screen though. Does that make sense? Control N. If you didn't press edit and you have all these extra ones, and you just press edit, press Control N and they'll go away. Okay, back to what I was saying. So now what I'm going to do is crease all these edges by just clicking on them. And it basically is like ZBrush's version of beveling, but so much better than Maya's. So now I'm going to close this subtools palette, go to geometry, and you see divide. I'm going to press divide. I'm going to turn off poly loops. And now you see I got this way too hard edge. So now what I go to crease, uncrease, uncrease all, divide again, and I start getting these bevels. So I do the creasing typically 2 times. I keep it creased, I divide it twice, then I delete all the creases, divide it again, and I start getting these very nice clean bevels on the edges. And if I divide it enough times, it's just perfectly smooth. And I get the highlights I want. Does that make sense? Yes. Another thing you can do is, if I go back to this, is I can use the bevel tool, but I typically don't like their bevel tool. Just because you see how big of a gap? It's just finagly. It's a pain in the butt. So what I do is I use the crease tool. I learned this from watching a CGMA tutorial that someone illegally found. Cough, cough, me. And that's... I can send you the article. I don't know if it's still available, but I can send you the article to how they do it. I think it's on 80 level. But yeah, so right now I'm just... CGMA is a online school for artists. It's very expensive, but it's really fucking good. So I'm just taking all the edges I know I need hardened, or I know I need to bevel. Oh Jesus, what's happening? So I'm just double checking everything is doing what I want. I'm taking this one just because I know it's going to need to be beveled. And it doesn't matter if it is, because it's flat on all those sides, so it's not a big issue. I'm also going to do that there. So the reason I'm doing this is just so when I smooth things, it's just a bit cleaner. Now you see, this is the issue I face. How do I get these inner edges I want? So I have to click there, click there. It's just about rotating enough. This may seem like a pain, but typically it's a lot faster in the long run, because I'm just clicking edges rather than having to figure out how bevels work, where should I bevel this area, what needs to be made into quads, stuff like that. I'm just going in, selecting these edges, and creasing them. I personally believe you have a little bit more control with the crease tool, because you get to control, you get to keep the edges exactly how you want them. It also allows you to bake better because you're keeping. Whoa, what happened here? What is that? Why is there an edge here? Interesting. I might not have. Here, let me do something. Delete. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, so it looks like I have an extra vertice. La 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 la. So what I might want to do is go back to Maya later and double check that I didn't fuck that up somehow and add an extra vertice. It looks like I might have. Not a big deal right now. Oh, I'm not in edge mode. That's why that's happening. Crease. Cool. So this I don't want this here. It just kind of happened. It's okay. I can fix it later if I need to. If it causes me any issues, I might just go back and fix it. But it shouldn't cause me any issues. Now, right now I'm deciding, do I want to... Yes, I do want to crease this. The reason being is if I crease this, then I won't get any pull from these corners. Because I want to basically crease all of these. Ooh. Oh god, oh god. And I also want to crease this all the way around, because that's just going to help it. Boop, boop. Oh, what the fuck? There we go. If it over creases something and you don't want that area creased, what you can do is right click and go to edge and just do one edge at a time. It's a little bit longer, but you shouldn't have to do that for all the edges. You just have to do that for a couple. So now, before I do the middle parts, I'm just going to show you what that looks like if I divide it. So if I divide it, I'm getting all this stretching in here, but all the rest of this is starting to smooth exactly how I want it, minus this top area, because I must have missed an edge. Or something's going on. It looks like I've just missed an edge. Let's go to poly mode. Yep, I just missed an edge, and that is why that is happening. Yep. Because I was like, why is that not flat? Now I divide. Yep. And I don't. Oh, I missed that edge too. I'm going to cough. Oh, no. Alright, let's go back to poly mode. Boop. Just going to boop. Now if I divide, I don't have that issue. See? Magic. And if I go over here, double check I did it correctly on that side. I did it correctly on that side. Cool. So now the only... Oh, God. The only thing I have to worry about is these pieces. I'm just going to divide a couple times just to show you why I do this method in the first place. So I'm starting to get these bevels. Now I'm at 1.5 million, which is fine, honestly. Like, that's not a big deal. That's not something I'm going to worry about. And I'm getting all these nice bevels, getting all these highlights I want. And if you want to make these stronger, you can. Alright, so I'm getting a weird thing here. My guess is it's just going to be a pinching. And yeah, it's a pinching from the fact that... What the fuck? Why is that beveled all the way around? So, or this is creased all the way around. So it just means I press Alt and I uncrease these areas. Because I don't want that to happen right there. It looks fucking ugly. Oh, I accidentally clicked that one. Oh, oh, there you go. And then I just go back in and divide again. And I don't have that issue anymore. I might have like this thing. It look like you can see where it's doing that, but if you do it enough times, it just kind of disappears, and you're not going to know this. And then I can uncrease all, divide, and boom shakalaka, it's starting to look pretty. I'm getting a weird thing here, and that's just because I didn't crease that edge, is my guess. Yep. So I just need to crease this edge so that I don't have that problem. So it may seem like more work, but in the long run, it's a little bit faster, and you get to have a clean high poly that you can also. Typically, what I do in ZBrush is I add dents and edge wear to this type of stuff, so that's why I do it in ZBrush in the first place, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Speak to me. It looks more realistic. You can't really do dents in Maya because it's not high enough poly to add like an actual dent. And I'm sorry, what? Yeah. In the low poly, I'm not even going to add the dent unless it affects the silhouette. I'm just going to bake it on. So now I'm just picking all these edges, creasing these. Oh, I'm going to cough again. Now, if you can't move your object by pressing Alt, you can't move because you have all, it's in the frame. You can use these right here and just drag them. Zoom, drag, rotate, and just do that. That's what I do a lot of the time because I typically end up making it so I'm so zoomed in that I can't like move. Oh God, did I just click something? No, I didn't. Cool. Boop. And I'm just going around clicking the edges I know I want to be doing these things too. I'm really bad at explaining things with words because I don't know how words work apparently. Yeah, I know. That's the story of my life. So yeah, make animal noises instead. I pretty much do, but yeah. So I'm just picking all these edges that I know I want beveled. And anytime you feel you didn't bevel something, you can just test. And it'll show up if you didn't bevel it because it'll look weird. So I got all these edges. These edges are fine. But you can tell, what the fuck happened over there? Something's happening over here. I can already tell. Ah, I didn't bevel this edge. Or crease this edge. Boom. Now I divide. And that issue has gone away. Oh God. Yep. So now I got that. Now I come out here. Get all that good stuff. Move around. Get that side. Oh shit. Get that side. Alright. Now turn that off. Divide. Boom. Perfect. Well, maybe not. Maybe not perfect. What's happening right here? What's happening right here? What's happening? Something's happening right here. Ah! That's what's happening. I didn't crease that one. Stupid me. Forgot to crease the important one. Boop. Now that's not going to happen. And now you can slowly see how that starts to do things. I can't even, I don't even know why I try words. So I'm going to divide this 3 times, uncrease all, and divide again. And now I start getting my highlights. Another thing I can do is, so this is where your artistic touch comes in. I can take this, go down, and never, don't use shift, don't smooth. You can use smooth, but typically it causes this like wavy stretchy effect. If I divide again, it's still there, you see. So you typically don't want to do that. Another thing I would typically do at this point is I have it at the topology I want. I have the highlights I want. I have the beveling I want. So what I'll do is I'll go to Z Remesher and just press this button. Now, if I go to this, press this button. Oh wait, no, it's Z Remeshing. This might crash, guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But basically what it's doing is converting my entire model into only quads. And the reason I want that is because those triangles I had on the model are now going to completely disappear, and I'll have a completely quad model that is the same topology, or the same look, and I can mess with it using ZBrush better. Also, Brittany McGrath will probably be next week. Okay, so here's the issue I'm having. See, it makes it all quads, but at the same time, it can do this sometimes. So, I don't actually know if I want to make it all, use that. But this is why you want to make these quads. So if I wanted this to be like much better, I would have made these all quads from the start, and then it would have worked better. But since I was just showing this to you guys as like a method, I didn't. Either way, typically for your high poly, you want quads. It'll just smooth better. It'll look better. Do you guys have any questions about this method for ZBrush and modeling in ZBrush? And how I get these results? Okay, so first things first is I import my object. Then I go and I crease all the edges I need to be creased. As you can tell, I accidentally creased something over here, it looks like. It definitely looks like I creased something. Yes, it looks like I accidentally did an extra little creasy crease. If I go back. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe it's just because the topology is so wonky right there. But you crease your object, then you test it by going to geometry, pressing divide. Then you go to crease bar, uncrease all, and divide again. So you divide a couple times. I divide twice, then I uncrease all, then I divide again. You can play... No, you do. You're just testing to see if it's dividing in the right areas, or if it's keeping the edge where you want it. If that makes sense. So, crease just makes it so if I divide, I keep the edges no matter what. And they look super duper sharp. And I don't want it to look this sharp, because that's not realistic. So what uncreasing all does is it deletes those, but it keeps what I have. So when I smooth what I have, I get my bevels, but I keep the shape of the topology I want. Does that make sense? So here, this, oh. Uncrease all deletes all the creases I added. And the reason I do that is because if I just divide this twice, you see how I have enough topology now that if I uncrease it, it will keep those edges. Yes, basically. Because if I removed all these all the creases now and divide it, you see how harsh those bevels are? I don't want that, especially here. It's just pulling out this topology, and I'm getting like these stretches and these triangle shapes. So this is another method to use.